Yo, welcome to a new video, guys. This is a video I've been preparing for a really long time, and it's a video about where to spend your gems, what events to spend them in, and where you get the best value. I know it looks very confusing right now, but I'll explain everything and it'll make sense later. So I've divided them into 4 categories. We have the materials, the blueprints, the speed ups. Just for speed ups, materials, blueprints, or gold heads, you can just look at the list. The top event gives you the best value and the bottom event is the worst value. So if you only want speed ups, the absolute best place to get them is on the mysterious merchant 1 to 10 hour speeds for an 80% discount. Those are very rare though. VIP shop is also always the baseline in this. You can see VIP shop is 1, VIP shop is 1 here, VIP shop is 1 here, and it's 1 here. And on the right side, you can see how many gems it costs. For the mysterious merchant, I just included the discount because it depends on the volume you're buying. But this alone does not tell the full story, because you might think, okay, I'm gonna buy this, but the question is, do you need speed ups to fight in KVK? Maybe you want to push Zenith, maybe you need speed ups for that, because these 24 hours you can spend 25k. If you buy both of these, you can spend 30k gems in the VIP shop per week. It's 120k gems a month. But the question is, do you need speed ups, and is it worth for you to spend these gems? For materials and blueprints, if you have a bunch of blueprints like me, I have way too many blueprints and not enough materials. It doesn't make sense for me to prioritize the blueprint events, because even if I get more blueprints, I can't use them anyways. If you have more blueprints than materials, you should always prioritize the material events. And if you have more materials than blueprints, you should prioritize the blueprint events. The same goes for gold heads, but it's a bit more complicated here. There's 2 things to consider with gold heads. First of all, do you have more commanders or more gear sets? Because for me personally, I have 3 gear sets, which are not complete, but I have 5 commanders from Season of Conquest expertise, and I have Persian expertise, and I have 300 gold heads. So for sure, my commanders are better than my gear. For me, it's not worth it to spend gems in the wheel, because my commanders are better developed than my blueprints and materials. I personally spend a lot of gems on speed ups, because I'm planning to push the next zenith. But after the zenith, I will not do that anymore, and I will focus my gems on materials, because that's what my account needs the most. I don't need blueprints right now. I don't need commander heads. I don't need any more speed ups. I have another list, which is mats, blueprints, and speed ups and mats, speed ups and blueprints, speed ups and gold heads, and mats and blueprints. Some things are not included in here, like the VIP shop, because you can only get 1 thing at a time, and there are only events included in each category where you can get all the rewards. For example, in Hunt of History or in Egg, you can get mats, blueprints, and speed ups. And you might have already noticed the Hunt for History is always below the max amount of spins for the egg. It doesn't matter what category you look for, Hunt of History is always worse than egg. So before you spend a single gem in Hunt of History, you should always maximize the egg event. This excludes buying the bundles, because this is a gem guide and not a money guide. And there's no bundle for the egg event to get spin tickets. We're gonna go over how it's calculated later. Another thing you have to consider is your VIP level. If you're not VIP 14 yet, you 100% want to spend gems on your VIP level. Getting these 3 legendary sculptures per day is immensely gonna help your account. You need these sculptures. VIP 15 is very nice. You get a lot of buffs here, especially the healing speed. You get 50% healing speed, because you have 0% healing speed in VIP 14. And this is the only healing speed you're getting in the whole VIP. Even at SVIP, your healing speed will only be 55%, which makes no sense. Right, so at VIP 16, your healing speed is 50%. And at VIP 17, you don't get any extra healing speed. Healing speed is 55%. That's a bug. Okay, we found a little bug. It doesn't tell you that your healing speed goes up by 5%, even though it does. VIP 15 should be a priority. You can spend gems on this. But after VIP 15, I don't think it's worth it anymore to spend any gems. Unless it's more than gems, and you can't hit the 50k target from the VIP shop or any other stuff that occurs at the time. Depending on how much of a spender you are and how many gems you have, you might want to push this VIP 14 without waiting for more than gems. But if you're a low spender or free to play, you 100% want to wait for all the more than gems while you push up to VIP 14. Also, being in an alliance that buys a lot of bundles helps immensely with your VIP level. Things that are not included in this list is stuff like 7k gem events or anniversary event. The thing most people are probably interested in is mats and blueprints, where you have the values here for the egg event, and the Hunt of History is still worse than the egg event. Unfortunately, it's a very bad event if you're not a high spender. So unless you spend, really, I want to emphasize this, unless you spend these 87k gems every single time the egg event comes, you should not spend a single gem on Hunt of History. You should only get the free hammers. You should stack up the free hammers to use them to reach level 5 in a future event. And if you're a spender, you can buy the bundle, because the bundle is not included in this. And the Hunt of History bundle is the only bundle in the game that gives you blueprints. And I'm gonna make another video about bundles soon, where I'm gonna talk about which bundles are worth to buy. And I think that's it. You guys can just read the list for yourself and decide which events you need to play. I'm going to look at the calculations. So starting with the egg event, we have all the probabilities right here. We have the epic materials, epic frags, legendary frags, the speed ups of different types, and the level 4 pick 1 chests. And then when we plot this into the graph, we have 10 spins right here. We get the gem number that it costs to do 10 spins, the cheapest way. Then we calculate it for the epic mats. We just take the two values. We multiply the amount you get by the probability and then by the amount of spins, and add them all up. And that means for 10 spins you get an average of 4.73 epic materials, which in VIP shop gem terms, because one epic material is worth 600 VIP shop gems, are worth 2.8k gems. And we do that for everything. We add the +5 for the legendary blueprint fragments from the chest reward you get for 10 spins. And then down here, to calculate the value of, for example, materials, we simply take the gems and divide it by the spins. So we have 280 gems of materials per spin. And then we take the spins, we take the value per spin, and we divide the value per spin by how much it costs to do one spin, which is 283 divided by 360, and the result is 0.8. If this number is lower than 1, that means it's worse value than a VIP shop. If it's higher than 1, it's better value. And we do it for all the different tiers. We do it for 25, 45, 70, 100, 84. For things like, for example, 72, if you only get the 2 free ones, right? If you do 0, 0, and then you do 2400 twice, like for 12, for example, the value is worse than for 10, and for 27, it's worse than for 25, so I'm not including those. We do exactly the same thing for the Esmeralda house. It's 1-to-1 the same thing. Esmeralda prayer is a bit more complicated. Honestly, it's so complicated, you might need a new video on this. It's more luck based in these events, because here you get the probabilities. But for the prayer, when you finish one of those slots, the probability of the other slots increases. So you have to do a bit of coding to get the correct values here. It's not just simple math. Here you can see the code for Monte Carlo simulation. And for the hammer event, we calculate the average hammers. So the maximum amount of hammers you can use is 26. And the minimum is 1. That means the average is 26 plus 1, which is 27 divided by 2. Which is 13.5. So for 5 floors, you take the average amount of 67.5 hammers. And then we have all the different possible rewards here you can get. For the epic reward, which we pick the materials, because nobody needs blueprints. And for legendary rewards, we pick the 8 blueprints. And for the crystal keys, we have different values. For mats and speed ups, mats and blueprints, mats, blueprints, and speed ups. And I calculated these by watching YouTube videos of people opening thousands of crystal keys and taking the average of how many you get. And per crystal key, you get roughly 1 green material on average. And every 402 crystal keys, you get 1 blueprint. And only 5 of those blueprints are actually useful. So I'm taking only 512 of that value as well. Then for the materials, for example, we just add up all the material values. We take the 54 for the crystal keys. We don't take the bones. We only take leather, iron, ebony. Same for the green materials. We take leather, iron, ebony. And since on average, you need about half the hammers to complete a stage, you also get half the rewards from a stage. So times 2.5 for each reward, because you get each reward 0.5 times per stage for 5 stages. You get each reward on average 2.5 times. Then we're gonna add the epic material reward times 4, and that's your normal material reward, because the blueprint's not included in this. If we include blueprints, we also add up the legendary reward once to get the value of blueprints, which is considerably higher. Then to get the gem value, we simply take this value and we divide it by 200. To get the value, we simply take the value before for materials, divided by 200. Then we have the value per hammer. Remember, this is only for gems spent. It doesn't mean you should never pick up this event. It just means don't spend any gems on it before you finish the egg. If you finish the egg every time, it's totally fine to spend gems on the hammer. But if you don't do that, you're just gonna get less value for your gems. Next is the jewel rock, which is very similar. We just add up all the stuff we want. We take all the materials. There's no bones in this. And after taking the materials, we look at the collection rewards, how long it takes to get a collection. You need about 76 mechanisms to reach one collection. And then we take the average reward of the collection for our materials, for example. For our value, we take the amount of mechanisms necessary to reach the collection. We divide it by how many mechanisms you need per level. So we get how many levels you need to complete for one collection. Then we times that with the material value plus the collection value, and we divide it again by the amount of mechanisms needed for a collection. So the value for materials is 344 gems. And since you spent 400 gems on one mechanism, the value is 0.86. For commander events, the wheel is just like the egg. It's the same calculation. Card king is also the same, a very simple calculation. And team draw is also the same, very simple. Okay, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. If you want to take away anything from this video, if your account needs materials, you should go just from the top and go all the way to the bottom when the event comes. Of course, these events are mostly monthly. The VIP shop is weekly. The Esmeralda House, the Egg, the Dalrook, the Hammer, they're all monthly. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.